I'm in my garden again, this fantastic garden of ours. When we came here, imagine, like best part of 3 years ago, it was in a terrible state. It was abandoned, had a lot of rubbish to clear out. Most of the plants were dead. And it's been a real, labour of hard work. Why am I saying that? After one match with Unai Emery, it's going to take a lot more than that to turn things around. Our supporters need to get behind Unai Emery. Hi, and welcome again to Arsenal Republic TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. I'm in my garden, trying to make the most of the little bit of sun and the warm weather until it turns a little bit chilly and starts to rain. Why did I talk about my garden? There have been two comments, strong comments and criticisms that's come out over the last 2 days. One of which is from a ex-England manager and one from an Arsenal legend who I respect so much in Tony Adams. Now apparently Tony Adams has come up with spit and fire against Unai Emery here. Now apparently he was on Talk Sport, and this is what he says. It was the same kind of performance. I was a bit deflated and disappointed. Coming from Arsenal, who always played open attacking football, I really wanted the new manager to come in there and tighten things up. Well, I can understand that. That's fair enough. For the last 10 years now, we've been leaking goals, soft away from home. I wanted him to put his new goalkeeper in, work with the back four, have two screen central midfielders, and keep a clean sheet. It was crying out for it, but I didn't see it. I thought he got a lot of the selections wrong. His best three players were subs Lacazette, Lichtsteiner and Torreira. I don't know why he didn't start with them. He's got a point there. But again, if I go back to my garden, you have to realise that Arsene Wenger was there for 22 years. He basically built the Emirates. So a lot of that DNA is still in there, even with the players. So it's going to take a while. It's not one game. One game. Now, Tony Adams, you should know a lot better than that, because look at your career you had in Granada. You were absolutely terrible there. So, really, I would have preferred if you didn't come out with that statement there. And going on from that, the Daily Mirror says that after the defeat, the Arsenal board had a meeting with Unai Emery to give him the vote of confidence. The vote of confidence! Whenever I hear those two words, it spells the end of something or someone in a managerial position. Look, Arsenal are not, from my recollection, a club to sack a manager so quickly, all bar one. I've seen four managers in my lifetime as being an Arsenal supporter. The first one was Terry Neal back in 1976. He drew the first three matches. He drew one, he won one, and he lost one. George Graham, who's probably in the most recent memories for our fan base, he didn't draw any. He lost two, and he won one. But even though in that first season he won the League Cup, which is now the Carabao Cup. Bruce Rioch, again probably slightly more recent in the memories, only lasted for one season. We know what happened there. He drew two, lost none, and he won one. And then we have Arsene Wenger, who didn't draw any. He lost one and he lost two. So Arsenal are not a club to dispatch of a manager so soon like that. And I think at some stage for the last 2 or 3 years of Arsene Wenger's reign, I think they bottled it to get rid of him. But we're not a sacking club. We don't do that to our manager. I respect Tony Adams' comments to a certain extent, but he's got to realise that we need to give Unai Emery a chance. We all make mistakes. Managers make mistakes. Players make mistakes. You know, he comes to Arsenal with a pedigree of winning the Europa Cup 3 years on a trot. I mean, who does that? Unai Emery does that. So let's give this guy a chance. And the final point I want to mention here is I saw some YouTube, let's say channels. I'm not sure if it's clickbait, but they show some of the fan base in the stadium with the Unai Emery sign out. I don't know whether that's true. I hope it isn't, because again, after one game, we need to get behind Unai Emery. Anyway, I'm going to get back to my little bit of gardening and just making the most of the little bit of sun. The sun is about to go now anyway. You have been watching Arsenal Republic TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. Let's snip this off.